Country Mouse and the City Mouse. Once, a mouse who lived in the country invited his friend who lived in the city to come and visit him. When the City Mouse sat down for dinner, he was so surprised to see that the Country Mouse and all he had to eat was barley and grain. "Really?" he said. "You do not live well at all. You should come see how I live. I have all sorts of fine things to eat every day. You must come visit me and see how nice it is to live in the city." The little Country Mouse was glad to do this, and after a while he went to visit his friend in the city. The very first place the City Mouse took the Country Mouse was to see the kitchen cupboard in the house where he lived. There, on the lowest shelf behind some stone jars, stood a big bag of brown sugar. The little City Mouse nibbled a hole in the bag and invited his friend to come nibble with him. The two little mice nibbled, and the Country Mouse thought how he had never tasted anything so delicious in his life. He was just thinking how lucky the City Mouse was when suddenly the door opened with a bang, and in came the cook to get some flour. "Run!" said the City Mouse, and they ran as fast as they could back to the hole that they came in. The little Country Mouse was shaking all over when they safely got away, but the City Mouse said, "That's nothing. She will soon go away, and then we can go back." After the cook had gone away and shut the door, they stole softly back, and this time the City Mouse had something new to show. He took the little Country Mouse up to the corner of the shelf where a big jar of dried prunes stood open. After much tugging and pulling, they finally got a dried prune out onto the shelf and began to nibble on it. This was even better than the brown sugar. The little mouse liked the taste so much that he could hardly nibble fast enough. But all at once, in the midst of their eating, there came a scratching at the door and a large, loud meow. "What is that?" said the Country Mouse. "Just shush," said the City Mouse, and they ran as fast as they could to the hole. The Country Mouse ran after, you may be sure, as fast as he could. As soon as they were out of danger, the City Mouse said, "That's the old cat. She's the mouser in town. If she gets you, you're lost." "This is very terrible," said the Country Mouse. "Let us not go back to the cupboard again." "No," said the City Mouse. "I will take you to the cellar. There is something special in there." So the City Mouse took his friend down the cellar stairs into the big cupboard where there was a bunch of shelves. On the shelves were jars of butters and cheese in bags and out of bags. Overhead hung bunches of sausages, and there were spicy apples in barrels around the Country Mouse's head. He ran along the shelf and nibbled at the cheese here and a bit of butter there until he saw an especially rich, super smelling delicious cheese on a queer little standing in the corner. He was just on the point of putting his teeth onto the cheese when the City Mouse saw him. "Stop! Stop!" cried the City Mouse. "That is a trap." "What's a trap?" said the Country Mouse. "That thing is a trap," said the little the City Mouse. "The minute you touch the cheese with your teeth, something comes down on your head hard, and you're dead." The little Country Mouse looked at the trap, and he looked at the cheese, and he looked at the Country Mouse. "If you'll excuse me," he said, "I think I will go home. I'd rather have barley to grain to eat, and eat it in peace and comfort, than have brown sugar and dried prunes and cheese, only to be frightened to death all the time." So the little Country Mouse went back to his home, and he stayed there the rest of his life. The end.